Excuse me. Look, I'm gonna make this one real short and real sweet. I want to share a conversation I had. I was talking with my neighbor about you have to take the good with the bad, right? So my neighbor complains about, you know, her boyfriend's attitude. And she says, "Oh, sometimes I just can't take it. I just can't take it." I said, "What can't you take?" And she was like, "Well, no, he just, you know, the way he responds to me, blah, 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 blah," right? And I said to her, I said, and I know her, I don't know, I'm aware of her boyfriend. I've been around him. You know, very cool, very cool. But you can tell he's a no-nonsense kind of person, right? So I said, "What does he do?" She says, "The things he just say out of his mouth." So I asked her, I said, "Do you complain about it all the time, or only when it doesn't benefit you?" She said, "Well, what do you mean?" I said, "Do you complain about it all the time, or only when it doesn't benefit you?" I don't understand. So I said, I know she likes Marvel movies, right? Because we've conversed about Marvel movies. I said, "You know Marvel movies, but do you know the comic?" She said, "No." I said, "Okay, let me ask you a question." I said, the Hulk, take the Incredible Hulk, right? And you take Batman. You know what? Let's just stay with Batman. That's what I told her. Let's just stay with Batman. Let's go with Heath Ledger's Joker and Christian Bale's Batman. I said, "Do you remember when the Joker said," and I'm paraphrasing, "when they finish using you, they'll sick their dogs on you. They'll hunt you down with their dogs." She said, "Yeah, I remember." I said, the whole time that the Gotham City Police Department could benefit off of Batman, they had no problem with him being a vigilante. The moment they were done with him, he became an enemy. Then she's sitting there looking at me, right? Squinting her eyes. I said, "I know you getting it." I said, "Do you remember when Batman and Joker was in the interrogation room? And Batman called Joker. He's like, you're a piece of crap who kills for money. You know, you're a criminal who kills for money," whatever he said. And Joker told him, "Don't talk like them because you're not. You're not one of them," right? Batman for a second felt he was part of them. And Joker had to remind him, no, it's not that. They only take the good. They don't want the bad. And they deem what's good and what's bad. Not you, them, right? So I asked her, I said, when he's using that attitude that you saying he have, and that mouth, and you know, everything that you find to be a problem, when he's using it out in the street, when y'all together, when you're in the middle of conflict with somebody else, do you tell him to stop? Well, no, because, and I stopped, I said, boom, you cannot stop it when it only benefits you. You have to take the good with the bad. If he's like this, when it protects you and you love it, you have to love it when when you feel it doesn't benefit you, right? And I told her, now let's go to the Hulk. You ever notice how they love the Hulk when it comes time for him to fight on their behalf? But when it doesn't, when they feel, all right, it doesn't benefit us, his destruction doesn't benefit us, they send his ass off. They send him off. Excuse my mouth. They send him off. Right? You can't do that. You got to take the good with the bad. If he helping you as the Hulk, and he's helping you as Bruce Banner, you have to, when it doesn't benefit you for him being Bruce Banner and the Hulk, you have to accept him just the same. She had a problem with how he was until I explained it to her, right? I told her, I was like, listen, one thing about men, females are taught to have a problem with our masculinity. They're taught to try to compromise our masculinity, and then they're taught to have everybody look at us as if we appear to be strange when our masculinity does not benefit them. They're taught this. It's no other way around it. They're taught it through movies, the internet. Everything teaches these females to, hell, they call it toxic masculinity. They call it that, right? So again, I told her, if he's like this when y'all in the street and you're in the midst of some conflict, right? If you have a problem with him doing it at that moment, I mean, you don't have a problem with him doing it at that moment, you can't have a problem with it when he's doing it and it's just you and him. Now, if he's speaking with some authority, this, that, and the third, you can't put a toxic tag on it. But when you walk in with your hand and he holding onto your arm and something happened and he's speaking with that authority, then all of a sudden, oh, that's my man, he loved me, he protected, blah, blah, blah. No, you can't do that, right? This is why a lot of relationships fail, right? Because let me tell you something. I've had situations where I was put into the middle, into that. I'm only one way. I only know how to be one way, and that's real. I can't be no other way, right? And when it benefits them, oh, truth is this, he's that, he's this, he's that. But then when it's just me and that person, then I'm a narcissist. I'm this. I'm everything possible. I'm everything. And I'm like, what the hell? How could I be that over here when just 2 days ago I was that over there and you was loving it because I diffused the whole situation, right? So again, this is what I try to, I try to say, we have to understand that you got to take the good with the bad. You have to. You have to. Me as a man, I learned to do it, right? When your crazy shows in the street, I love you just the same. When your craziness shows with me and you, I love you just the same, right? That's just how it goes. But yeah, I wanted to share that with y'all. I had to wake another one up. She got it. After we finished talking, she got it. She really, really understood what I was talking about. She really did. And she said, I'm going to go call him and apologize to him because you're right, I shouldn't have been like that. And I said, yeah, man, listen, if that's how he is, that's how he is, right? Don't try to turn him down. Don't make him into a toy soldier or a robot. When it benefits you, you crank it up. But when it don't benefit you, you wanted to crank all the way down. Nah, that's not how it works. No, you right. That's okay, well. But yeah, like I said, I wanted to share that conversation with y'all. I ain't trying to preach. I believe I can reach. That's it. That's it. That's all I want to do. I ain't trying to preach. I believe I can preach. But, as always, somebody gonna tell me, shut up. You know yourself. You don't know what you're talking about. You know. Oh, you know my response. You know my response. All I'm gonna say is go do this. In the midst of me shutting up and deleting myself and all that other stuff, I only ask you to do one thing. Go find out what I already know.